So, welcome everyone to the second. Welcome to the second in our series of Tuesday Talks from In Control Scotland here on YouTube. Today we are going to be joined by Michael McEwan, who's going to talk to us about labels, the importance of not assuming things about people, and many more things, I'm sure. So, without any further ado, I'm going to invite Michael into the live stream.
Hello, Keith.
Hi, Michael. How are you doing today?
Not bad. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Good. So just saying, Michael, that you're going to talk to us about, well, at least I think you're going to talk to us about labels, not making assumptions, and the importance of valuing people as individuals. So I'm going to go and leave you to get on with it, and I'll come back at the end.
Okay. No worries.
See you later.
Bye, Keith. Okay, so hi, my name is Michael McEwan. Well, first of all, I do some work for In Control Scotland and a lot of different disability organisations in Scotland, and we are kind of like involved in the We Are One festival as well. And we might come back at a later date and tell you about what We Are One is. So first of all, thanks for Keith and Alistair for giving us this opportunity on Tuesday Talks. Basically, they've got a couple of TV shows going, Tuesday Talks and Webinar Wednesday with Alistair and Keith, and obviously Webinar Wednesday is tomorrow, and this is Tuesday, so this is Tuesday Talks. This is the second edition. The first edition we had Dr. Danielle Farrell speaking about the issues that she faces in her daily life, and I just thought I would tell you about the subject that I'm talking about today. People being labelled, especially with a disability. As I said at the top, my name is Michael. I am a disability campaigner and advocate, and also I am a freelance journalist as well, where I comment on different disability issues, but also comment on non-disability issues as well. So let's get talking now, because it's Tuesday Talk, about people labelling people with a disability. So I kind of over the past couple of years, I've been thinking about this, about people putting boxes in people's perspective of people with a learning disability, physical disability, mental health, and any of the other characteristics. But at the end of the day, we're only people, and disability doesn't define you, it's only a label. However, so I kind of noticed this a few weeks ago, because when the government started to go through the different phases, phase 1, phase 2, and now we're in phase 3, and obviously we can go out in the web now to shops, and there was a big debate at the beginning about people wearing face masks, and also people as deaf and hard of hearing. Well, they've got special masks kind of made up at the middle where their mouth is. They've got blank, and you can see people's lips and where they're speaking. So an organisation that I don't remember offhand, but they're based in Edinburgh, and they've actually made a few, well, not a few, a few hundred maybe face masks now, and that's good to see. But when the new rule came out, different organisations has got together and made kind of like lanyards, like you can wear around your neck, about if you're exempt from wearing that. So when I say exempt of wearing that, I'm talking about people with disabilities and mental health issues or breathing issues as well. So that means if people stop you in any kind of shops and they say, well, why are you not wearing a face mask? You can just pull this up and say, I'm exempt from wearing that because of my disability. And to be honest with you, it's kind of like an argument that I've been having with a lot of, to myself basically for a few weeks, and maybe you're kind of going through this as well. So please comment in the box below, and we can read some of your comments. And at the end of the broadcast at 2:30. But I feel as though that people shouldn't need to wear labels, because I and In Control Scotland and different organisations up and down Scotland has been fighting about labels. There should be no labels in today's society now. And then on the other hand, Angus can quite are doing it, but at the same time, we shouldn't all be labelled. We shouldn't be tagged with the same brush, as it were. And another way to put it is labels and boxes as well. We should stop putting people in boxes just because I'm different from the wee guy down the street, as it were, basically. My name's Michael. I don't introduce myself saying, hi, I'm Michael, I've got a disability. It should be, hi, I'm Michael, and that's it. They shouldn't be Michael, but I've got a disability. That shouldn't come to it. So, as I said, I've been in shops for the past couple of weekends, and I keep seeing these kind of lanyards that people's wearing for people to be exempt for wearing it because of their kind of like disability. But as I say, I don't kind of agree with that. But at the same time, I can understand why organisations are doing it. Because it might help people sometimes when they kind of like cannot speak, or whatever barriers they face. But there should be no labels in today's society. And I was thinking back at this point before I came on air today about any examples I've seen of this. And I remember a few years ago that I did some work for the BBC, and it was a story about a boy. I won't mention his name or the nightclub he was going into, but he was going into a nightclub in Glasgow on a Saturday night, and the bouncers gigging him into the nightclub because the bouncers thought he was drunk. Now, they just assumed that he was drunk. They didn't take into consideration that he's got a disability. So what this guy done was he had to go back to get a support organisation to make up a kind of ID card, and they carry that about with him now. And I think it's quite sad how they had to do that. He had to make up an ID card to say, I'm not drunk, I have got a physical disability. So that got commissioned and stuff, and it was highlighted in a way. But to be honest with you, it was good that they took the story on board. But I mean, imagine people carrying ID cards about to say, I'm not drunk, I've got a disability. Because this boy was quite bad at walking and quite bad at talking as well. But yeah, he had to go back to get an ID card made up to say that I've got a disability, I'm not drunk. And that's like sagging to gay society because, like, when you look back years, we've kind of moved on in terms of disability, small steps, in terms of into the media or TV programs or whatever. The biggest bugbearer for me is getting people into employment, and also the other one is going back to labels and boxes, assuming that people can't do that because they look different or they walk different or they speak different. So we have got some way to go in terms of educating people when it comes to the whole disability angle. And, going back to what I was saying about labels and boxes and people in shops, over the first couple of weeks, I was wondering, wonder what that they're wearing, wonder what that ring the neck is. And then I saw it highlighted in the news, and I thought, well, that's actually quite sad in today's society that we've got to wear labels to say, I'm Michael, I've got a disability, because everybody should be treated the same, no matter if you're disabled, mental health issue, if you're black, if you're gay, or if you're lesbian, any of the characteristics. I always treat people as people. I don't really go about to speak to people and people in boxes as well, because when you're putting lanyards on people and you're going into shops and getting a shopping and stuff like that, and people says, well, why are you not wearing a face mask? Well, all they would need to do is go like that, stick a label in front of their face and say, I'm disabled, I'm exempt from wearing one. So but like when the boy went into the pub, and as I say, the bouncers thought they assumed that the boy was drunk, but the bouncers didn't take a minute or two to understand about this boy's disability and how it affects him and stuff. Eventually got into the pub, but that wasn't the point. The point was he was refused entry right away. And it wasn't until his girlfriend stepped in and some of his pals stepped in that the bouncer thought, yeah, okay then. So then that boy had to go back to his support provider and basically say, if you can make an ID card up. Now, I think that, that it was a story and it got commissioned and that was good and stuff, but why do we need to wear signs? Why do we need to put signs and put ID signs in the pockets to show people that we're any different? Or, at the end of the day, just kind of like treat people the same. A couple of years ago, I made a short film, and it was about me, about my disability, but also it was about, and the film was called Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover. And that's the same with people wearing labels. You shouldn't judge someone because that they look different to you, they speak different to you, they walk different, they speak different, and stuff, and any of the other characteristics as well. So, but labels, no, I don't like the whole labels kind of thing. And, another thing is as well that when you wear a label, you actually, well, to me, you actually kind of like draw attention to yourself in a way, if that kind of makes sense. So I don't like the whole kind of label thing. Why should you be any different to, other people? We should go. We should all be treated the same and not different. And as well, I mean, I can go on and on and on. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to speak about employment because that's another big issue as well. But as soon as you put down on the job description that you're disabled, the chances are you getting a job is very, very slim. I mean, when you look at the figures now, there's not a lot of people with a disability in employment. And when I say paid employment, I mean full-time employment or part-time employment. Most people that I speak to say that is, when I say, do you work? Yeah. Most of the time the answers would be, yeah, I volunteer in a charity shop. Now, to me, that's not work. But as I say, I don't want to get bogged down in that because I can speak about that till the kids come home, and that's a big issue. And it's a big issue for different organisations. And I want to come back to speak about that in a few weeks. Other issues that I want to speak about as well. But labels and boxes, I just thought, well, I'll bring this to your attention because it's a big debate at the moment. And there was a news report on the other week about it, and they were interviewing somebody from a charity. I can't remember the charity's name. And anyway, but this person's kind of like against wearing labels as well. And I suppose it's like wearing a badge or wearing a necklace ring the neck to say, hello, I'm Michael, I'm disabled, I can't wear a face mask. We need to try and get away from that. Everybody should be the same. Okay, we might have like a slight difference of, when it comes to your health issues or disability or whatever. But yeah, we should be the same. And that's what I wanted to get you real asking questions if you want in the box, and we'll answer them at the end if you want. But really, it's one of these kind of ones, isn't it? When you actually see something, you don't really get it until somebody actually brings it to your attention, and you're like, oh, I never thought of that. So possibly, like the people watching this, they might have been been walking around supermarkets and shops and seeing people wearing like lanyards around their neck, but they've not they've not noticed or not give it any concern as well. So that's the whole kind of like purpose of today's Tuesday Talks. It's just to bring your attention that the way that the barriers get put up in your way. So if somebody offered me a lanyard today, if somebody walked in here and said, Michael, you get cerebral palsy, we're going to give you a lanyard, I would say no. Because to me, that's a label. You're labeling people. And we want to get away from the labels in society until we all, I was going to say all hold hands there, but that sounds pretty wrong. But we should all join together and kind of say to different authorities or different governments, whether it's the Scottish government or the UK government, stop putting barriers up in people's way. Stop putting labels up and putting people's way. because I see it now and again, you see it now and again, and it's just came out because of the coronavirus, and people is beginning to go into shops, go out with their pals, go to a cafe, a restaurant for a meal, but people is wearing labels around their neck to say, I'm exempt from wearing that. To me, if I was in that position and if I wasn't wearing a face mask, and if somebody was asking me, Michael, why are you not wearing the face mask? I would say, I've got a heart condition or whatever, but I don't really need to wear a label for people to tell. I don't need to wear a label for me to show people that I'm different in a way that I'm exempt from wearing that because of my disability or my physical disability. I mean, I wear a face mask perfectly fine in shops, but these kind of labels, we've just got to get away from labels and putting people in boxes because you're different from the guy outside, so you could go in a different room or a different box to him. It's about when you go to these, back in the day when you used to go to events, kind of like Ink and Crow events, you used to go on and say, what's your name? And you put your name on and you stick your label on there. But they don't stick saying Michael cerebral palsy, do they? They just say Michael. Because, and I'm quite open about my disability as well. Right, so if anybody asks me questions about my disability, I can hopefully give you a very honest answer, in my opinion. But we don't need to put a label on our t-shirts or our jackets when we go into a venue to say, Michael has got cerebral palsy. It's like when you go to events as well, what I was telling you about, it's like, put your name, and that's it. There shouldn't be any labels or any barriers get put up in your way. But, so, I mean, this whole debate's been out there for a while, right? But it's kind of raised its ugly head during the coronavirus, and it's just scattered because people started going out to shops and supermarkets, and when they're busy, and so that when shops are busy, then the people was wearing this kind of lanyards. I think they're kind of yellow, bright things that they wear around their neck. Now, you might be watching this and you might disagree with me, and you're entitled to your opinion, but I don't think that, speaking from a disability point of view and speaking for, I don't speak for people with disabilities, but I know that if you go out now and interview 10% of people with disabilities, they would be against it because that's what they've been trying. Because they're basically saying what I've been saying to you for the past 15 minutes now, is labels in boxes are not acceptable in today's society. I mean, you wouldn't go to an event and say in your name bags, hello, I'm Michael, I'm gay, or I'm Michael, I'm black. You know what I mean? Any of other characteristics. So just make it simple. Know that no lanyards. If people ask you in supermarkets, just say, I can't wear one because of X, Y, and Z. But then I'll ask you as well as, if you say to people, I'm exempt from wearing that, then they'll say, well, where's your proof? Where's your tell me if you're not. Tell me if you're not lying. Tell me if you're not kidding on. But you don't want to throw them a lanyard because you have got a disability in a kind of way, or mental health issue, or or asthma, any of the other characteristics. So we just want to be the same people. I mean, when I go into meetings, and when I have meetings on Zoom or StreamYard or anything, I don't really put myself forward as a disabled person. I will say that I'm a disability advocate, but I don't say, hi, I'm Michael, I've got cerebral palsy. Because nobody makes you know that. I've kind of went into meetings in the past when people say to me, when they say, then I open up and say, I've got a disability, and they say, well, another person says, you don't look disabled. Now that's funny to me, because what is looking disabled like? Is it somebody in a wheelchair, or is it somebody with an amputee arm or leg, or whatever? So you're just people. You're just people. You're not any different from your husband or your wife or whoever. We're just people, and we're one big happy, or sometimes happy community, and get on. But we shouldn't be any different because I've got a physical disability and someone's got a learning disability. We should be all treated the same. Treated the same as people, not labels and boxes. So that's why I wanted to speak about it today, because it's a very important issue. And now that the lockdown is easing to phase 3, then then more people is going out to the shops as well, and more people is wearing these kind of labels.
Okay, so, I'm back in the studio as well now.
So I better stop.
I was just gonna check if anybody is watching who wants to. If anybody's got any comments, they can post them. But I also just wanted to ask you, and I know you've been talking there, Michael, about the importance of not judging a book by its cover, the importance of not putting people into boxes or assuming things about people because of arbitrary labels. And I put a couple of comments in about the No Labels, No Walls Festival and the We Are One Festival and things like that, and the fact that you're involved in the planning group for that. And you mentioned that earlier on. I just wanted to ask you, though, when I introduced you, I think I introduced you as what did I say? I said Michael's a disabled activist and a journalist. I think I said journalist first, actually. I think I said Michael's a journalist and a disabled activist. How do you feel about that as a description, I suppose, is what I'm going to ask you there.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fine. Well, not kind of fine. It is fine to me, but the other barrier that I've come up against with that is, like when lockdown started, Keith, you always had about a time in your hands and you think about things as well. Mm-hmm. And I've always thought about, even though I'm disabled as well, and like I'm a journalist as well, but the media's got this perception that you can only comment on different issues affecting disability. They can't, it's like, you wouldn't see me on the TV talking about like football. I know, like me and you are big kind of football fans in a way, but like because they do assume that Michael has got a disability, he can only speak about disability issues. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to get that message across in a nice way to people that I can speak about other kind of issues. And it's a bit like Danielle, like the other week that you had on there. And Danielle's a big disability advocate, but she could speak to a lot of different issues as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So next time we have you on here, we should get you to not football, don't we? We should do football.
No, don't. No, that's no.
We'll think about what we get you on. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything you want to say, Michael, as a final comment?
I don't think that there is. I mean, just come back to what I was saying about labels and boxes. There should be no room for that because I'm not any different from Keith or Alaska or any of the other people. We should be all treated the same.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Thank you for coming in today and for doing the second of our Tuesday talks. I was going to say that the next time that we do this will be the Tuesday of 2 weeks from now, I think it is, which is Tuesday the 1st of September. And Dr. Daniel Farrell will be back on doing another Tuesday talk, which will be at the same time, 2 o'clock on Tuesday the 1st of September. And as we have done today, we'll keep it to half an hour so people can watch it live, or they can watch it on YouTube later. Michael, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
You could get me in all the kind of social platforms, but so you can find me on Twitter at MikeyBoy83, and you can go onto my website. It's michaelmckewanmedia.webs.com.
Okay, and if they're interested in, they can also get you through State Blade Scotland as well.
Yeah.
In your role as chair of the National Committee of State Blade Scotland, can't they?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Thanks for coming on today. It's been great having you as always. And I'm going to end our live broadcast now.
Okay.